Hey to everyone out there watching, it's JT from Keystone Crew Outdoors. Welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed the special edition of the Fantasy Fishing Show a few weeks ago of my coverage from the Elite Series weigh-ins at the St. Lawrence River in Clayton, New York. It was a great time seeing it live, and it was awesome to see history made with two anglers hitting the century mark with bags of only smallmouth. It was also great being able to talk to some of these Elite Series anglers and kind of pick their brains on a few things and, talk to them about how their events fared out. I'll try not to let me meeting some of these guys influence any of my picks, but no promises there. Some of these guys were awesome dudes. The Elite Series is winding down. 2 events left. This week, the Elites are at Lake Oahe at Mobridge, South Dakota from August 18th to 21st. It's time for your last push in fantasy fishing. This is usually the part where I tell you you can sign up for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing at bassmasterfantasyfishing.com and join the crew by searching the Groups tab for Keystone Crew. But with 2 events left, it's going to be really tough for you to possibly win anything. And as always, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, after a month-long break, the stop of the St. Lawrence seems like it was forever ago. It was awesome to get up there for Championship Sunday, speak to some of these anglers and witness history. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just going to do a very quick recap of what our picks were and what a perfect roster would have looked like. So my gut picks were in Bucket A, Corey Johnston finished 2nd. Bucket B, Taco Ito finished 13th. Bucket C, Seth Fighter finished 34th. I had Bucket D, Jonathan Kelly finishing 79th. And Bucket E, Mike Iaconelli finished 68th. Our research picks, the cruise picks, were Bucket A, Chris Johnston finished 6th. Bucket B, Taco Ito finished 13th. Bucket C, Seth Fighter finished 34th. Bucket D, we had Bernie Schultz, he finished 46th. And Bucket E, we had Justin Atkins finishing 15th. A perfect roster, if you had Corey Johnston in Bucket A, he finished 2nd. Bucket B had Jay Przekurat, he finished 1st. Shane LaHue from Bucket C was 7th. Austin Felix in Bucket D was 11th place. And Bucket E had Paul Mueller finishing 5th. My weight was off by about 10 pounds. I said 93.13, and the winning weight was 102.9. If you remember, though, I did say I thought the century mark could be hit in this tournament for the first time, and it was by 2 anglers. Corey Johnston did it, became the first angler ever to get a 100-pound bag of smallmouth, and then Jay Przekurat broke it immediately. Shook things up a little bit in Angler of the Year and Rookie of the Year standings. So the current Angler of the Year standings are Brandon Palnick, David Mullins, John Cox, Brandon Lester, and Drew Benton. And the current Rookie of the Year standings are Jay Przekurat, Jacob Fouts, Cody Huff, Joe Webster, and Josh Douglas. All right, let's get into the Keystone Crew picks for Lake Oahe in Mobridge, South Dakota from August 18th to 21st. A lot of unknowns for this tournament. The Elite Series was here back in 2018, but that's about it. There isn't a lot of data to go on. So it's mostly gut feelings and, looking at momentum and if you like certain anglers better than others. I'm thinking the techniques in play is going to be a lot of drop shots, some Ned rigs, and maybe even a little bit of top water. They're the techniques I'm expecting for this one. All right, as always, I'm going to go into my gut picks. This is the point of the season where you got to, not go with the percentages and try to make some moves. If you're like me, I'm not doing so great in the fantasy fishing side of it. So I'm going with Bucket A, Chris Zaldain, owned by 3.3%. Once again, I'm looking for some of the lower percentage owned guys. Bucket B, I'm hoping that the momentum carries. Jay Przekurat seemed very excited about this tournament. He's owned by 15%. Bucket C, I'm going with Brock Mosley, 2.2%. Bucket D, Matty Wong, 3.2%, and Bucket E, Alex Redwine, 12.5%. So you can see my gut instincts, I'm going away from the percentages that are heavily taken in this one, hoping to make a move. I'm not saying that's the best strategy for all you guys out there, but that's personally what I'm doing. And my wife, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to have some Katie's picks in here. She usually follows what the research picks are, but in this one, there's a couple changes she wanted to make for hers in hopes that she can make a bigger move too with some lower percentage owned guys. So we're going to get into the power ranking now, and like I said, we're going to kind of have three outcomes there. My gut picks that I just went over, some of Katie's picks, and the actual research picks, the ones that you should go with, because, you know, Katie's been doing pretty good going with those picks. All right, so my actual research-based picks are, once again, I power rank the picks from the Bass pundits, different articles I read and videos I watch, and they're going like this. So for bucket A, I have Jeff Gustafson, owned by 7.2%, followed by Corey Johnston, 7.6%, Chris Zaldain, 3.3%, Brandon Palnick, 45.5%, and Tako Ito, 10.2%. Some of these guys I really want to pick, but I just can't do it because of their percentages. Like, I love Palnick, but 45.5% isn't going to get me anywhere in that. So, my pick, Chris Zaldain, 3.3. Katie's pick isn't even on this list. She's picking the other Johnson brother, Chris Johnston. And the crew's pick is Jeff Gustafson at 7.2%. Bucket B, I have Cliff Pirch with 11.3%, followed by Jay Przekurat, 15%, Jason Christie, 19.3%, Shane LaHue, 1.2%, and then Seth Feider, 32.3%. Once again, I'm a little iffy on picking some of these guys with the higher percentage owned. My pick, Jay Przekurat with the 15%. Katie's pick is Cliff Pirch, 11.3%, and the crew's pick is also Cliff Pirch at that 11.3%. Bucket C, I have Austin Felix as the top-ranked angler, 39.8%, followed by Chad Pipkins, 9.9%, Josh Douglas, 10.2%, Greg DePalma, 1.5%, and then Cody Huff at 2.6%. My pick, like I said, picking kind of out there, Brock Mosley, 2.2%. Katie's pick is Austin Felix at that 39.8%, and the research pick is also, the Keystone Crew pick is Austin Felix at that 39.8%. Bucket D, we have Paul Mueller, 38.7%, followed by Justin Atkins with that 8.5%, Micah Frazier, 5%, Mike Huff, 1.2%, and Matty Wong at 3.2%. My pick and Katie's pick are both going to be Matty Wong in this one, and he's at 3.2%. And the crew research pick, Keystone Crew pick, is Paul Mueller at that 38.7%. Bucket E, I have Alex Redwine, 12.5% owned, followed by Mike Iaconelli, 20.8%, Jonathan Kelly, 3.1%, Keith Combs, 2.6%, and Ed Loughran, 1.2%. My pick is Alex Redwine, 12.5%. Katie's pick is, she's going with our hometown guy, Jonathan Kelly, with that 3.1%. And the crew's pick is also Alex Redwine with that 12.5%. The tie-breaking weight I'm going with, I think I'm going with 84 pounds, 2 ounces in this one. I don't think we'll see the 100-pound bags like we did at the St. Lawrence, but you never know. I think it's going to be a little streakier, though. I think, you know, you might get 20-pound bags one day and then high teens for other days. So just to recap, for Fantasy Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing, my gut picks, the ones I'm going with: Chris Zaldain, 3.3%, Jay Przekurat, 15%, Brock Mosley, 2.2%, Matty Wong, 3.2%, and Alex Redwine at 12.5%. The ones you guys should be going with, the research picks, based on my power rankings, is Jeff Gustafson at 7.2%, Cliff Pirch, 11.3%, Austin Felix, 39.8%, Paul Mueller, 38.7%, and Alex Redwine at 12.5%. Like I said, though, you might want to make some moves here and pick some lower percentage guys if you're kind of out of it like I am, throwing up some Hail Marys in the last 2 tournaments. All right, that brings us to Mercury Drain the Lake. It's an elimination survivor style game where you can only use the angler once all season. I want to say that it's tough to pick anglers now, but it's actually, you only have a certain amount of guys left with 2 events left, so it's not as hard to pick them. It might be hard based on how you picked earlier in the season, and now it's like, well, who do I pick here? But the pool is a lot smaller to pick from, so I think that makes it a little bit more manageable. I'm going with Josh Douglas, Austin Felix, Cody Huff, Paul Mueller, Cliff Pirch, Jay Przekurat, Alex Redwine, and Matty Wong. All right, a couple shout-outs here. Here's the standings in the Keystone Crew Group for fantasy fishing. First place, we have Salmon G Bass by R. Gayton is the name on there, followed by Captain Noni, which is B. Hartzell, and then Keystone Crew, which is Katie Morrow. I'm sitting in 8th place right now. Mercury Drain the Lake, we've got Keystone Crew in first place, that's Katie Morrow, Skipper 22587, which is me, in 2nd, and Captain Jack, Jay Hartzell, again in 3rd place. Good luck to everybody in this tournament. We'll catch you next time.